Hello and welcome to My Tiny Bottles, the project where I explore my grandmother's legacy of miniature liquor bottles, one tiny bottle at a time. I'm your host, Tammy Coxon. When last we left our tiny bottle that looks like a tree stump, it was at the center of a controversy, with at least two distilleries claiming to have the original recipe, Distillery Guy and Denisette Clonger. Distillery Guy is still around today, having been passed down through Armand Guy's family for 4 generations, and they have completely written out the whole Cousin Florentine period from their story. According to them, Armand Guy created the recipe in 1902, came up with the tree stump bottling, which all those fakers copied, and the Guy family are the only ones to possess the original recipe. But here is the thing I can't figure out. While the Denisette Clonger recipe might be a copy, it is a copy down to every last detail of the original Cousin Florentine product. The bottle shape and the label match the original marketing materials, while Le Vrai Sapin is very different looking. Maybe there was some kind of split that no one is talking about. Maybe the widow sold off the recipe to pay some bills, and that's why they ended their affiliation in 1909? I have no idea. Both distilleries continued to operate throughout the 20th century. When absinthe was banned around the world, they doubled down on producing Liqueur de Sapin, as well as various anise-flavored absinthe substitutes. It wasn't just them. I found a picture of one other competitor product, Sapin d'Or, also packaged in a faux wooden bottle. Distillery Guy is today known for Pontarlier and Nid, the absinthe alternative it created in 1921, as well as real absinthe, now that it's legal again. Meanwhile, Denisette Clonger struggled and was bought by Émile Pernod in 2005. Émile Pernod took the original recipe and made some updates, increasing the alcohol content to 40% and producing an even higher 55% version for use by the local confectioners and bakers. In 2013, U.S. importer Vendetta Spirits convinced them to bottle this higher proof version for the American market, and I actually found a bottle near me. I cannot wait to taste it next to its tiny predecessor. The big question for me with each of these bottles is when. There are not a lot of clues on my tiny bottle of Grande Liqueur de Sapin. It doesn't list the volume at all, so I can't use whether it's milliliters or ounces as a clue. But I was able to track the specific wording of the color warning label down to a UK food law that existed in 1957 and was gone by 1967. So maybe it's from somewhere in there. Unless they were just using up old label stock, or, not staying up to date on UK food laws in the mountains of the Jura region in France. And just like that tiny bottle of Italian Swiss colony wine, this puts it a few years before we think my grandmother started collecting, so that's interesting. It took me a lot of untangling to try to get a coherent story out of this one, so if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. I've got someone in mind to taste this bottle with, so hopefully I'll have an old versus new comparison video before too long. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that when it drops, and hit that like button while you're there. Cheers!